Well, hello and welcome to Rolynn's Reviews. Hopefully everyone can hear and see me okay. Hello, Mark. How are you, my friend? Yes. Hopefully all of the technical difficulties are over. That would be my wish, my hope. Yes, Linda, how are you, love? I told you I don't give up easily. I just keep on until I get it going, or I'll go and send everyone a little message that the stream is just it's just not working. So I'm doing great. I hope that all of you are. We should have an excellent conversation tonight. Linda's laughing again. She's getting ready. All right. Yeah, I'm here. And so I hope everyone had a productive Saturday. I got a little bit done, not as much as I needed to, but hey, we know how that goes. Uh I also have to I also have obligations here because I spoke with you all last night and we had a conversation started, and this is what you wanted me to talk about today, and I promised you that I would. And so here we go. Now, if you'd like for me to call your name uh, during the roll call, just say hello, send an emoji, whatever. Okay. I'm glad you're all here. Christine is here. How are you? Linda, of course, is here. We've been chatting in the chat, the comment section for a few minutes. All right. How you doing, love? U.S. Army retired. Thank you for your service, sir. Thank you for being here so much. Beverly, how are you doing? Mark Sprouse, how are you? Maga Maha, how are you doing? Katie, I'm great. And Trish, how are you? All right. Lynn is here. How are you doing, Lynn? Um, and so, those of you who are here, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that like button. I promise it won't cost you anything. And hopefully, if enough of you hit that like button, that will trigger the YouTube logarithm and let YouTube know that you are definitely enjoying this content. And hey, they'll share it out and bring more people into the conversation. Now, those of you who've been here with me for a while, you already know how I feel about this nonsense, this gaslighting. Uh, I mean, you pretty much, if you've been here for a while, you know how I feel about this subject matter. And I think it's a shame that, the Democrats, I mean, there is no such thing as stooping to an all new low. There is low as you can get. And it's just a shame. How you doing, Lisa? Robert, how are you? Robert, now, according to Google, she has a rare form of alopecia. That's what Google said. So she doesn't have cancer, but according to Google, she has a rare form of cancer, alopecia, which is, of course, baldness. Causes baldness. Trish, how you doing, love? Trish, no one's going for those lies. And I want, now you all know, if you've been here for a while, you know I'm an avid follower of Thomas Sowell, and and I also love Walter Williams and, of course, Larry Elder. But I just, you know, I've been reading his books and his audiobooks are here on YouTube. He just, you know how you have your favorite. Dr. Sowell is my favorite. And again, now I told you I've been watching. I didn't even realize when I was, in college, when you read the commentaries um in the newspapers. I've been reading his commentaries, Walter Williams commentaries, Larry Elder. I've been watching since the 90s. So, U.S. Army. I never owned a slave. I don't know anyone who was a slave except those of us who were in the military. Get reparations from those who committed the act and leave me alone. U.S. Army just dropped a truth bomb. Now, I told you this, we're probably going to get a little heated. It got a little heated last night. That's fine. Everyone is welcome to their own opinion. You know how I feel about it. When people come into this chat, making all kinds of negative statements about what America should do, I say you have to start in Africa. All right. And when you say that, the people disappear. They don't want to hear it. You try going over to Africa and asking them for reparations and see how that works out for you. You might come up missing. We don't know. And James said, let me write you a check. How much and who to? Will rubber be okay, James? Linda, yes. And Dr. Sowell explains it so well. But of course, no one wants to listen to what he's saying. U.S. Army retired. Yes, folks, I am a white male, not politically correct. Sorry, not sorry. U.S. Army, I get it. And then what about the free Black Americans who also owned slaves? So how would you go about trying to divvy up paying people? But, like I said, from reading Dr. Sowell, I'm like, oh my God, what he says makes so much sense. But no one listens to him. Not the right people anyway. And we know definitely not the Democrats. So again, this is my thought process as well. And I also have, we've been watching the Real Gospel Chops. And of course, he's not quite as old. Dr. Sowell is 93, 94 years old. The Real Gospel Chops appears to be in his 40s or 50s. And he's saying basically the same thing that we're saying. It's nothing but greed, a form of it. Lisa, Linda, yes, right. And it's just, you're pointing the finger, right? And again, every group of people, and then I learned this just reading Dr. Sowell, everyone at some point in time in history has been enslaved. So where do you start? All right, listen to this. This is Dr. Sowell. Linda, that's the American way, right? Always looking to blame, not taking responsibility, no accountability. I've been seeing a lot on some of my other, how you doing, Florida? We're glad you're here, dear. Some other content creators channels that I've been watching. And there's a statement that I'm seeing a lot. I'm seeing it a lot. Owed everything, responsible for nothing, or something like that. Offended by everything. And what's the other part of it? I'll remember it in a second. And I started thinking about that because with that DEI, we know what that was all about. Going in and making white people feel horrible and telling them to whisper around Black people and don't raise your voice and, don't hurt their feelings. Robert, how you doing, love? Lisa, how are you, dear? How about fighting for getting homeless Black people housing and some decent paying jobs without being discriminated against? Robert, right. They need to choose some real issues. And one thing about it, this is a joke. When Barack Obama was in the office, you had your so-called first Black president during Obama's first term when he had the House and the Senate. So if you really wanted to do it, that would have been the time. Then you had old Jim Crow Joe. You had a Democrat in office. Come on now, folks. Now, this, they can't see, if you don't have more than 2 brain cells, you can't see the smoke screen. Trump is in office, thank God. We have the House and the Senate. How the heck are you going to pass some type of reparations bill? The Democrats have nothing. So again, people who don't have more than 2 brain cells, this is to get them back on the plantation, to get them. How you doing? Thank you, Lisa. I'm sad to see so much hate. When I feel myself getting involved, I ask for peace for him. Lisa, that's all it is hate. That's all they have. Yes, he was U.S. Army. That's when the Great Divide really started. Wake up, people. Why don't you send a bill to our African brethren who enslaved us from? Wake up, people. Wake up, people. You're new here. I'm pinning this comment. Wake up, people. I've had people come in here and call me horrible names. I'm pinning that comment. That's how I feel. I'll read it again. Wake up, people said, why don't we send a bill to our African brethren who enslaved us from the beginning? And I brought this up yesterday. Someone told me I didn't know my history and I didn't know what I was talking about. I don't teach history per se, certain aspects of it so far as scientific inventors, researchers. So I do teach history to a point in my classes. So I had people come in here and tell me that I didn't know what I was talking about. I know history. And during the tribal wars, the tribe that lost, guess what happened to them? They were given to the Europeans, and the Europeans gave the Africans gold, a drink, whatever. So again, when people come in here and attack me, they don't want to hear the truth. I tell them, why are you asking America for reparations? You need to start in Africa. And then they just call me bad words and leave. So why are you only asking America? And look at all these other countries that were involved in the slave trade. You're only asking America. Get out of here. I don't want to hear that nonsense. MAGA Maha, if we don't get over the past, we will never unite. This issue is a Democratic ploy to continue. MAGA Maha, I don't think you were here. And when we were talking about this, they are so angry that they lost the White House, the House, and the Senate. They're desperate. Trump and Holman are getting all these illegals out of here. They're angry. They're trying to get Black Americans upset, emotional, and in the streets. And then, by the way, they're throwing them this banana in the tailpipe again. News flash. And see, this is what really makes me angry. How you doing, Tina? Yes, Tina. When they gave billions upon billions of our tax dollars to these illegals, I don't recall any Democrat saying we need to form a commission. They just wrote the checks. Someone tell me I'm wrong. How you doing, Lala Papa? Someone tell me I'm wrong. Lisa's always support military. My son's army. I hug. Yes, Lisa, me too. I always support the military. Lynn, I think we ask America because our ancestors built this country for free. But Lynn, that would not have been possible if Africans had not sold Africans into slavery. Lynn, exactly. Biden, right? The Democrats that love Black people, they despise Black people, and they better wake up and realize it. Again, someone tell me I'm wrong. They didn't ask to form a commission when they flooded this country with all kinds of illegals from over 100 countries and nations. They just gave them our tax money. U.S. Army, they ask America because they think the people are coward into pay. Yes, that's why they try to make people feel guilty. That's what the DEI was all about, folks. And so, sorry, not sorry. Lisa, the military was such a major help. We had 7 fires going on up there. Oh yeah, Lisa, exactly. Always support the military. Yes, ma'am, me too. And U.S. Army, you're absolutely right. But someone type it. How you doing, Baldwin Birds? Baldwin Birds, tell me what your thought process is. And those of you in the comment section, hit the like button. Tell me what you think about that. I'm going to play this video with Thomas Sowell momentarily. But this is what I'm saying. All these people that are just asking America, why you have to start in Africa. Now, tell me how that works out for you. Go over there and ask the African nations for reparations and see how that works out for you. Come back and let me know how that works. Baldwin Birds, I think with my brain, like most people should. Yeah, they should do, but they don't. Cammie, how you doing, love? Brenda, how are you? So tell me in the comment section. If you agree with me, fine. If you disagree, that's fine as well. But again, it starts in Africa, folks. It starts in Africa. Rolynn, we're happy to have all your honesty put out to the people. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa, what are your thoughts on that? Why are they just asking? This is a Democratic ploy. Again, there is no way. They don't want Black people to get anything. Again, when you had the so-called first Black president, that would have been the time, right, to get reparations. But no, you didn't try to get reparations. And guess what? If you're out here, like I told you all, I'm out here working hard every day. I don't need the government to give me anything. Okay. I work. This is biblical. Tina, Black owned, Black. Tina, I said that before you came in. How you going to get divvy up reparations? All the free Blacks owned. They own, and they had slaves too. Brenda, off our backs. Okay, Brenda. So Sharpton is yes. Division, of course, Lisa. And the Democrats are trying to get Black Americans, because slowly but surely, more and more Black people, thank God for social media. There's one good thing about it. More people are waking up. They're trying to get all of these Black people that escaped from the Democratic plantation. They're trying to get them back with this ruse. Big Cheese, how you doing, love? Reparations specifically for FBAs are necessary to close the wealth gap between Black and white Americans. Okay, Big Cheese. Now that's your thought process. I got another, I tell you another way you can specifically close the wealth gap. Make better choices and better decisions. I'm talking to some students now, and I tell all my students, listen to this, Big Cheese. I tell my students, if your parents or parent were unable, or they could not save up money for you to go to a four-year university, I have students, I'm pushing kids, go to the military first or go to a community college. It's cheaper. And how about working to close the wealth gap? Linda, yes. We have to make better decisions and choose. Okay, Tina, slavery goes back to the beginning of time since God put me on the earth. Yes, slavery's been here forever. Midnight. Thank you so much, Midnight. I tell them to make good. I have a student right now. She wants to be a professional. How you doing, Tijuana Border Jumper? Thank you for the super chat, love. Now, I know tonight's my moderators, we may have some trolls dropping in. We always do when we talk about this type of subject matter. As long as they don't disrespect anyone or call anyone names, hey, it's good. Tijuana Border Jumper says, watching from the sidelines, I'm beat from working 2 jobs, so I don't need to ask for a handout, but I do need the government out of my pockets. Tijuana, me too, dear. Truth bomb. Lisa, people need to focus and work for what they want. My son got his schooling through military. Yes. My dad, Linda, my dad worked 3 jobs and we were latchkey kids. Linda, the old generation didn't ask for handouts. They got out here. Let me say this. Why were Black Americans doing better prior to the welfare state? Johnson and his Great Society. Before they came with that, we were already improving. Florida, good to see you, love. And so the problem is, and let me explain this. I'm going to play the video, but I'm trying to get my point. So I want you to know what my thought process is and why I feel like this. This is how I was raised, folks. Now, I tell you, my dad was military. We were not allowed to make excuses. That was not on the table. Okay? I had to produce. There were no excuses. I did not come up during Jim Crow. So for me to go to my parents with some lame excuse, oh no, that wasn't happening. Lala Papa, the Monahan report was dropped on us because the Black community was upset by none of the promises. Yeah, the Monahan report. People need to look him up. Lala Papa, I talked about him before. Monahan, he wrote that report. And look at us now. Boss Chick, how are you? Lisa, it's called pride and stepping up to take care of your family. Lisa, when the black family was, thank you, Brenda, the black family was intact prior to Johnson, right? And let me tell you, he did not do that he crippled Black America. And he said, I will have the, and I can't say the word here because I'll be censored by YouTube. He said, I will have the ends voting for Democrats for 200 years. President Johnson said that. Look it up. So this is now let me tell you. So you understand how I told you, I don't know everything, but I've been in education. How you doing, Ruby? For 27 years. I have students at Yale University. I have students at HBCUs. I have students in the military with top security clearance. I have the military coming to me asking, and I tell my students, as long as you do what you're supposed to do in my classes, it's all, I got your back. I have students in prison. It's about choices, folks. It's not about, I don't want to hear about systemic racism. I help students get jobs. That's one of the things that I do. Some of you who've been here for a while, how you doing, Betty, Doreen? And I have students that tell me, well, I don't want fast food. I said, excuse me, all money is green. What do you mean you don't want that? Because I know some of the managers, I help students get jobs at Walmart, Food Lion, Fast. A job is a job. When I was younger, it did not matter. Patty, until 1975, the racial gap in average earnings among full-time male workers in the United States narrowed. Right. So hit the like button for us, folks, and share this stream out, please. And this is what angers me. I have students now, and it's sad to say, but some students you can look at, hey, you know who's going to make it. And then some that are making some poor choices, you kind of know where they're going as well. Sometimes me and the other teachers get on the local lockup list for our county. When we see certain students there, we're like, okay, no shocker. So it's about choices that people are making, not white supremacy holding you back. And I see people come over here from Africa, Mexico, other countries legally, work hard, and they're doing very well. I have a student, her parents came over from Kenya. I think it was Kenya. She's at Yale University now because they don't allow excuses. Intact families, right? And they don't have excuses. African students, Asian students, no. Hispanic students, no. They have to produce. I'm talking about those coming over here from their countries, not those that have been here for a while, because then they start acting like American students. Okay. I'm just calling it what it is. Lala Papa. I think they want millions and not the same jobs their parents worked before. Black enterprise. Lala Papa. They want the money, but they don't want to do the work. They want to start up here. And I told students, I said, look, they laugh at people. Oh, they're working fast. I said, look, do you know how much a district manager makes at McDonald's or Burger King? I said, they make big bucks. Go in, entry level, work hard, work your way up. That's how that goes. Tina, it angers me too, Miss Rolynn, but it starts at home with the parent. Right. And Tina, that's the issue. Fast food jobs are supposed to be a stepping stone until you achieve the career you're right, Candy, but they want to start out all the way at the top. Right. And that's a problem. And I call it like it is. Cammie said, remember after slavery ended, Black Americans were helping each other out and they actually were succeeding and they didn't get Cammie, they were doing very well, even during Jim Crow, because they had, a lot of them had their own businesses. After integration, most of the Black businesses disappeared except for the hair salons, the undertakers. And so it is what it is. Cammie, another conversation that needs to have all the Black Americans ready. Cammie, a lot of people are just going to run out and blow the money. DJ, how are you? Also, the term African Americans would be a dangerous interpretation to determine lineage. based reparations? Can Elon Musk as an African American receive it? DJ, good question. Money isn't always, yeah, more money does not mean it does not equate to happiness. Hit the like button for me, folks. Let me start this video up. And you tell me what your thoughts are.
This is from an article that got a lot of attention in The Atlantic a couple of years ago called The Case for Reparations by Ta-Nehisi Coates. Quote, white supremacy is a force so fundamental to America that it is difficult to imagine the country without it. Reparations is the price we must pay to see ourselves squarely. Close quote. And Tom Sowell, who actually saw Jim Crow with his own eyes and experienced it, responds how?
It would be nice to know his evidence for what he said, just to be old-fashioned about it. No, it was a rotten system. But I don't know how we get from that to reparations. I mean, what we see in the United States in terms of the bad things, you see all around the world. If you were to give reparations to everyone whose ancestors had been slaves, I suspect that you would have to give reparations to more than half the entire population of the globe. Slavery was not confined to one set of races. I suspect that most of the people who were either slaves or slave owners around the world were neither white nor black. I mean, this was a universal curse of the human species.
Africa, the Middle East, Asia, slavery took place everywhere.
And it continued elsewhere long after it was abolished in the Western countries.
Right. What do you think so far, folks? I'm going to get rid of the commercial. Linda says maybe they can offer $750 like they did to the people in North Carolina. Right. Yeah. I get you have to be an illegal to get the billions, right? Yes. Cammie says, civil rights fact. Jesse Jackson came up with the term African American because he didn't like the terms colored people and Negroes. Right. Cammie, fun fact.
Nowhere have intellectuals seen racial issues as issues about intertemporal abstractions more so than in discussions of slavery. Moreover, few facts of history have been so distorted by highly selective filtering as has the history of slavery. To many people today, slavery means white people holding black people in bondage.
And that's an issue because as we heard Dr. Sowell just say, okay, just about everyone's been involved in slavery. Big Cheese. Team Sowell is finessing. Yes, they're trying to get money. That's all it is. Linda, the indentured Irish. Linda, I don't think you were here. One of the concepts I teach about Typhoid Mary. She was Irish. And when I tell my students how the Irish immigrants were treated, they're looking at me like I am an alien. Because when you hear racial discrimination, slavery, and everyone just thinks it means black. No. It's affected every race of people on this planet. Donna Means, you can call me Lala. Talking about racism too much can also be a direct result of a mental illness resulting from slavery. However, denying racism can also direct mental illness resulting from the effects of slavery. Okay, Donna. The United Kingdom done away with slavery, 1883. France, 1848. The USA did away with it, 1865. Yes, Tina, thank you for the dates. Right, Linda. And so, again, as Morgan Freeman said, stop talking about it. All right. And so, and I'm not going to play much more. I'm not going to play any more of that. I don't want to be copyrighted. But what I'll do, I think I will share this. If I have not already, I'll share this in the description box. And I have another, let me show you. I told you, I love watching this guy. This guy, he calls these people out. The real gospel chops. He's like, these people are nuts. Morgan Freeman was on point. Morgan Freeman's always on point. They never like what Denzel Washington is too. When they ask him questions and they're looking at him like, really? So let's listen to, this is what I really wanted you to hear. I wanted you to hear how they're talking, because again, remember now, they are in desperation mode. They're losing. They've lost everything. A lot of the Black Americans have escaped from their plantation. These illegals that they flooded in this country, they're being deported. So they're losing them. So they're losing everything. Yes, Linda. Denzel, when he tells them, just like Morgan Freeman tells them, they're looking at him like he's crazy. Let's listen to this. These people are nuts.
America we know today was built on the brutal enslavement and trafficking of stolen Africans forced to build this country on their literal backs. Despite, however, what Trump and his anti-diversity, anti-equity, anti-inclusion cronies want you to believe.
Let me say this. When Jim Crow Joe was in office, he didn't do anything for Black people. So why are they up there lambasting Trump? Like Joe Biden did all these wonderful things. Again, the Democrats only did for the illegals. So stop it. Right, Lisa, I'm sick of this. I am sick of this, okay? Thank you, Cammie. Yeah, 1833. So they're up. I mean, they're just losing their minds. Listen, folks.
This is American history. Its impact is the American status quo. It's unjust and it is wrong. No matter what anybody says, the history of America is the history of America. Right. And acknowledging that history is not a threat to the present. Would argue that ignoring that history, however, is a threat to our future. No matter how many attempts they make to whitewash this history, the blood of our enslaved Africans ancestors can't be erased from this land. We must acknowledge that. We must acknowledge that the systemic racism that has denied Black folks the ability to thrive and to survive in this nation to this very day. We see it and we feel it every day because the barriers put up in place by our own government, because of redlining, because of predatory lending, because of inequitable funding schemes for our schools are very real. Our government, no matter who is in power, has an obligation to right these wrongs, to provide reparations for descendants of enslaved Africans, to eliminate the racial wealth gap, to uplift the Black community. White supremacy is rampant in this country. Just look at the current administration and our own legislative body.
What's up, y'all?
Okay, this is the real gospel, y'all. He's going to call them on their nonsense. So tell me what you think about this in the comments. So you see, they are totally unhinged. Oh my God. Ruby said, y'all be falling for the banana in the tailpipe. HB 40 is a reparations study because it has the words African American. It is DOA. Ruby gets it. Ruby. I don't know if you were here, but I will say it. Mayor said, yeah, she looks real oppressed. Yeah, they don't want those checks to start coming in. They let all those Black Americans escape from the plantation. They're trying to bring them back in, but it's too late. Ruby, how the heck are they going to get reparations? They've been studying. They've had commissions. Stop it. They didn't have any commissions. They just gave billions of dollars to non-citizens. What this is another banana in the tailpipe. And you have to have more than 2 brain cells. All of us do here, but some of these people are going to be fooled. Listen to this guy. He's going to eat them up. Oh my God.
Gerald here, creator of Gospel Chops and your host for this YouTube channel, back with another video. Now, y'all, this is one of the most ridiculous things I could imagine that the Blackity Blacks would pull out at a time like this in America's political history. That's right. You got these educated Black women who are serving in Congress, who are coming forth now introducing legislation. Now that Donald Trump is in office, we ain't heard from these people in years, and now they want to come out and say, oh, we're Blackity Black now. We represent the downtrodden Negroes in America.
And they've not represented anyone except illegals. So stop. So this guy, oh my God. This guy calls them on their nonsense. Big cheese. I don't support HR 40. Support cut your check for FBA specifically. Ruby, the Dems know that this is not going to pass. Ruby, that's what I said. Barack Obama had the House and the Senate. His first. So did you know this is a ruse? This is another gaslighting incident. It's a joke. It will never pass. But people have to have more than 2 brain cells to see through this ruse. Oh my God. DJ, why didn't they do it when Obama was in power? DJ, Barack wasn't going to sign this crap. Biden wasn't going to sign it. And they know with a Republican White House, House and Senate, it's not going to get signed. But they're trying to pull those people that escaped from the plantation. Get out of here. I can't with these people. This guy calls them out. I love it.
And we're going to introduce a bill to study reparations. Well, study. Old folks used to say, study long, study wrong. What you studying for? Because if I study you and your trajectory in America, I can see pretty clearly that reparations is not necessary for people to succeed that look like you, that look like me. Because when I look at you standing before those microphones, I say, hey, sis, how you get there? And I guarantee you, there's going to be some facts in her history or those among her or those around her that say, I bet you she didn't have a kid at 13 years old. Say, I bet you she didn't have a felony on her record.
Yep.
I bet you she got a college degree or 2 or 3. Through all of these Black women that are postulating in front of this microphone and say they probably have those common threads between them. Well, that leads me to a certain understanding, sister, that if we follow your path, then maybe we could end up where you end up. But you are out here advocating not for education, no, not for sexual abstinence, no, not for being a law-abiding citizen, no. You are out here advocating for reparations.
So you see where everything he's saying, these are things that we've been talking about. So what you need to be talking about, you're not. You're talking about something that's a pipe dream. You heard what he just said. Teresa, I'm a white American, have always been poor. I live on disability and only get $1,000 a month and worked 3 jobs, raising my kids and no welfare. Teresa, you are my hero. Truth bomb. It can be done. It is like I tell my students, it is about choices, right? Not white supremacy, like they said, white supremacy running rampant. I don't give a care what they say. How you doing, Lanita? Midnight, how are you? Midnight, it's all about race baiting. We all know the history of this country, but stop saying because of the history of this country, I am a perpetual victim. Look, those of you who've been here for a while, you know, I say all the time, I'm no one's victim. Things that happen to me, things that happen to you are the result of the choices we've made. Mayor, that's what it is. It's mental slavery. I've said that. Yes. They listen to these race baiters that want to keep their checks coming. So again, they need the things they need to talk to these people about. They don't talk about the violence and the Black men killing each other. Talk about, the incidents of drug usage, all of these things he just mentioned. No, they're not going to talk about that because they don't want it to stop. They want their checks to keep coming. Cammie, what about free Blacks and Native tribes that own slaves? Exactly, Cammie. It's a pipe dream. Exactly. They're crazy. Here you go.
And your game's so weak, girl, that you can't even advocate for reparations. You advocating for a study of the issue of reparations. Well, let me tell you something. They pulled that same card, them Blackity Blacks, they pulled that same card here in my state in California, and they pulled them Negroes along and left them on the hook for years.
Yep.
And when it came down to it, they was just hanging on the hook.
That's it.
Empty-handed, as usual. But you know what? When you sit there with your hands out, you can't blame nobody.
Nope.
For leaving your hands empty. That's how you presented them, empty hands. Nobody is obligated to give you anything. And for you to say that you deserve it, well, I would argue, sis, that there are people who are not working as hard as you are because they haven't achieved. There are people who aren't even trying. But in your quest for diversity, equity, and inclusion, you would say, well, that someone who has worked their butt off to achieve should get the same level of respect, the same level of reparation that someone who hasn't worked at all should get. Why? Because reparation is repairing the ills of the past. Well, I think those ills have been repaired in certain ways that I won't go into in this video, but we have to look at us. And what I see when I look at us, sis, is that Black folks like you, the Blackity Blacks who have achieved, continue to put themselves out there for that white Democrat structure, that white Democrat plantation. Y'all seem to keep availing yourselves to do their dirty work. Every time they paint themselves into a corner, well, here go the Blackity Blacks. Come out to save them. As if they saved you, but you sitting here telling me in the microphone they haven't saved anybody. So why are you so beholden to their message? Why are you so beholden to that Democrat plantation? Why are you out here pushing their propaganda to the Blackity Blacks? Who knighted you a voice? Who selected you to be the voice of the Blackity Blacks where you could push these kinds of messages into the community? Well, I'm here to tell you, and I hope you save this video because I know it's going to age like fine wine. Ain't nothing going to come of this. This is foolishness. They're just trying to keep you on the hook. Don't fall for the bait. Where are the real men of the community that need to take the reins of power? Take that microphone out from in front of sister's face and begin to speak with a little bass in your voice and speak the truth. Speak truth to power. So that these young folks can learn what they really need in order to be successful. They don't need reparations. You're just gonna go out and buy a Gucci belt. Go out and buy some drink. Go out and buy some rims. How is that going to improve your state? They're gonna give you a piece of money, and before you could say reparations, that money is going to be spent.
Yep.
Because many of you find yourself in the hole right now. You could use some reparations to get caught up on them bills you got. Well, maybe you haven't been managing your money correctly.
Again, no accountability, no responsibility. Remember when those checks were coming? Remember, I think during the pandemic, remember people were told they didn't have to pay their rent and all of these things. And even though they were getting those checks, you should have been putting money back. And then, eventually you're going to have to pay. And then people took those checks and again went out and spent money foolishly. And then when people started to become homeless and they were evicted, they're all over the news. People are crying and I'm home. Choices you made, ma'am, sir. U.S. Army says if they get reparations, what happens when they waste the money? Do they get paid forever? That's called welfare. Okay, U.S. Army, right. Linda said it's called hard work and determination. And Linda, that's what I tell my students. Don't come anytime someone, I don't want to hear anything about racism and white supremacy. If you're working hard and you're not focused on being a victim, you can succeed. I tell them that all the time. Tina, I'm extra tired of it as well. I don't either, Robert. Midnight said nails and weaves. Right. So it's about choices that you make and decisions you make. Has nothing to do with white supremacy. It has everything to do with what you're doing, your actions. Tina, morals, priorities, and God. Yes. Okay, Lynn, thanks for stopping in, love. Hit the like button, folks. All right, I'll continue because this guy, oh my God, I love this guy. Linda, choices, yes. Ruby said BMWs, Hellcats. Thank you. Right, Ruby. Midnight said I had an employee tell me one time the clocks were raised. Yeah, Robert. They're in trouble now. They need black people to help bail them out. Robert gets it. They're trying to they put these called blackity blacks out here, try to pull the black people back on that plantation. Lisa should have saved money for a rainy day. Lisa, And this is, and I know some people think, you know, I've had people tell me that, you know, you should have done this, you should have. Let me tell you where I have an issue. People go out here and spend money frivolously. Now tell me what you think in the comment section. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. Then they die and their families on Facebook doing a GoFundMe. No, ma'am, no, sir. When your relative was alive, they were out here, they have 2 or 3 cars, beautiful furniture, all these things, and you don't have money to bury them and sell. Now you're doing a GoFundMe? No, ma'am, no, sir. No. Tell me what your thought is on that. Lanita, Dems always focus mind games on the soft targets in the community to get them dependent on government handouts. They hate FBAs and their families that are on point and independent. Lanita, they don't like us because we don't support them and we don't need anything from them. And just so you know, the Democrats, thank God the Curry Queen did not win. They are trying to stop free speech. Particularly, they're blaming content creators on YouTube, TikTok, everywhere for spreading disinformation because we were exposing the truth about them. So thank God Trump is in office. Here we go.
Maybe you haven't been doing the best you can to be the best you can be. Maybe you need to do some introspective research. We don't need a committee to study reparations. We need a committee to gather these Negroes together and put them in front of a mirror so they can look at themselves. And you will find, young sister, that they're not taking the steps you're taking. That's why they're not in front of the mic. They're not doing the things that you've done. That's why they're not in front of the mic. And somehow you feel like because you have achieved that you should be the spokesmouth for the community. Please do us all a favor and have a seat.
The idea.
Okay, listen to this. Let me read this. Cammie said they were tricking off with the C-19 check, cars, weaves. Yes, all of that, vacations, man, all of this. That's why these people also, Cammie, since you brought all that up, these people who, a lot of these people, well, black and white, Hispanic, of all races, who are up here asking the government for student loan forgiveness, they were doing all kinds of things with these checks, okay? Taking vacations, traveling around the world, buying vehicles. No, ma'am, no, sir. You pay your own bills. All right, here we go.
Yeah, of bringing forth a bill that every member of Congress should vote on to understand, effectuate, and socialize and study how we can move a country from tyranny, subjugation to economic prosperity. It's clear. The history is clear. I'm extremely excited that we're going to bring this bill to the floor and we'll be able to show who really cares about this country.
What a joke. Who would listen to this lady? Midnight, I just saw where a rapper got $5 million from C Relief. Midnight, yeah, there was a lot of scamming going on with that. A lot of scamming was going on with that. Lala Papa, HR 40 would have already been addressed and it won't help black folks anyway. It's another trick bag, like affirmative action. Lala Papa, that's all it is a trick bag. DJ, they're trying to save themselves. They want their checks to keep coming. And all they're going to do they've already proven the only people they're going to help are illegals. So these people don't let themselves, don't get fooled. Robert, get rid of these black politicians like Maxine Waters and Jasmine Crockett. Yes, Robert, yes. Cammie, some blacks have become way too comfortable blaming all their ignorant personal actions on white people, escaping responsibility and accountability. Cammie gets it. Again, stop blaming everything on white supremacy because you made some bad choices. Teresa, if people are able-bodied and can work, they should. That's what I know. People wouldn't tell their doctors who the father was because they wanted something, driving new cars, free housing. Yeah. Teresa, it's a scam. The whole welfare system needs to be overhauled. It's nothing but one big scam. Okay? That's what it is. Let's call it what it is. And you have people, so many people out here gaming the system. And it's not right.
Who really cares about the descendants of slaves who built this here Capitol? I'm so proud of the Congressional Black Caucus and our willingness to stand up in a time where Black erasure, Latino erasure.
Okay, listen up, folks. The Congressional Black Caucus needs to be disbanded. They have done nothing. They were created for Black Americans. They only do for immigrants. Stop it, lady. You're standing up here telling lies. Stop it.
Erasure, Native American erasure, Asian American erasure, LGBTQ erasure is the agenda du jour. Not only will we fight back, we will win. Today, as we announce this movement to move forth this bill, young people in this country, fear not, because this movement will grow. It will continue. Not only will you be in the streets demanding justice, you should know that we will be here in the United States Capitol as members of the United States Congress, saying what Miss Lee said every single day, saying what Ella Baker said every day, saying what Fannie said every day. We who believe in real freedom, real true equity.
That have said that race-conscious policies are bad politics. And we have seen a retreat from elevating these issues. What is your message to fellow Democrats who would say that now is not the time to be talking about reparations for Black Americans?
Well, Dr. King reminds us that the time is always right to do what is right. And Coretta Scott King reminds us that freedom is never really won. You earn it and win it in every generation. You know, I'm very clear about the fact that the path to justice is not a linear one. And so we're here to do that work. And I think it's important, while we are actively blunting the coordinated and unrelenting assaults from this hostile administration, that we are actively advancing an affirmative vision for this country and for this party. I would also add that I do think race-conscious policies are responsive policies. I am asked about H.R. 40 in community in the Massachusetts 7th Congressional District by people of every walk of life, every race and ethnicity, every gender identity and expression, because they are simply people of conscience. I've always said that policy is my love language. And the reason I say that is because the majority of the harms that have been caused, particularly that have been foisted onto Black Americans, were legislated. So if we can legislate hurt and harm, we can legislate justice. Amen. We can legislate healing. And we're certainly long overdue. And for those that would say we need to just get over it, that's interesting. When as a nation, you are benefiting right now from an economy that was built on the brutalized backs and the indignities and the horrors of chattel slavery and our African ancestors.
Y'all, it's 2025 and they still on these old talking points that ain't got us nowhere. You ain't made no progress on the basis of these talking points. What do you think that's going to get us? Who do you think is listening to this? Who do you think in this new administration, in this new America under Donald Trump 2.0, who do you think is paying attention to this foolishness? And I know we've had these conversations for hundreds of years. Black folks want Black folks to be better, but we have disagreed on the pathway to get to better. Martin and Malcolm didn't agree on the pathway, but they agreed on the end goal. Okay, we can say they agreed that they wanted Black folks to be better. W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington had the same disagreement. We wanted Black folks to be better, but we disagreed completely on how to get there. We've had these conversations, y'all, over time, so this is not new. But this old playbook has not gotten American Blacks anywhere heretofore. So how do you figure that under this president, that this is the right play? This is the wrongest of plays. This man is trimming the fat in government This man is deporting illegals. This man is making all kinds of structural changes to government that need to be made. But if you got a whole community who couldn't thrive under the old criminal system, and let's be honest, let's talk about this just for a second. I'll give you 60 seconds. Maybe, just maybe, that the blackity blacks, when you look at the Democrat schemes that were in place in government, some of the things that Doge is uncovering, some of the hidden billions, some of the things that they were funding. Maybe blackity blacks ain't been doing well on that platform because somebody didn't want them to do well. Yeah, they seem to fund everything LGBTQ, even overseas. They sending millions of dollars to drag queen story hours. But you can't start your little coffee shop in the hood. You can't even get a little SBA loan for your little business. You can't open your little restaurant. No, they'll let you open a church. Or you can do that, or you can have 10 churches. You can do that all day long and worship their Jesus. Not the God of heaven, but the one that they allow you to worship. Oh, they'll give you that. They'll give you that 501c3 if you want a church. But let your 501c3 want to go into the hood and do the right thing. Let your 501c3 be based on educating young black folks in the hood. Nah, we ain't talking about reparations. We talking about making you better, young man. We talking about making you better, young woman, so you won't need a handout.
That's right. If anyone else, if you enjoy how this guy talks, type a 1 in the comment section. This guy, oh my God, he's great. Lanita, a lot of the Black Caucus are not even the same lineage. Lanita, that's what I said. That's why they are all pro-immigration. Most of them their parents were immigrants, so they really cannot identify with the U.S. with us. They stomp for illegals and everyone else. They are snakes, not to be trusted anymore. Yes, Lanita, that's what I say. Fridge Reaver, how you doing? Cammie, what's up with all these bald Black women and the heavily weaved head women representing Black women in the Democratic Party? Cammie, I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know. Lala Papa, that's right. Well, Herman Cain died. Jesse Jackson crippled in a wheelchair. Jim Clyburn got run out of office. Okay. Yeah, it's time for a lot of other people to go away. This is Black supremacy, totally racist. I'm sick. Tana, that's all it is, dear. That's all it is. Read, I saw a comment last week watching a video. She stated, currently in this time, Blacks weren't slaves and whites didn't own them. Okay, yeah, these people say anything. How you doing, Monique? Hit the like button, folks. All right, Shelly, how you doing, love? Yeah, Tina, white supremacy is the cause to all of our problems. Racism and white supremacy, instead of people's actions actually being the actual cause. Right. Tina, me too. Okay, here we go.
We trying to train you to do the work. Oh, I got my 501c3 in 2010, y'all. I know all about that game. They fund what they want.
That's right.
And if they don't want the hood to be better, they not going to fund it. But they'll send these blackity blacks out here to spread their message that you are downtrodden, that you are born to lose in America, that you can't win, even though they themselves have won in certain respects. They have climbed certain rungs on that ladder to success, only to turn around and tell you that you can't do what they did. No, sis, that ain't the way to do it. Tell us how you did it.
Yep.
Give up the game. How did you get where you got? How did you pass that class? What did you have to do? What is the road like? Share the experience, because there's somebody behind you who's looking up to you. And you have wasted that opportunity on something like reparations. Instead of giving them the game and giving them the pathway, you have told them to hold their hands out.
Yep.
Well, understand this, with your hands out, nobody's coming to save you.
Nope.
You better live like it. You better act like it, because especially under Donald Trump 2.0, he ain't giving a crippled crab a crutch. He ain't giving nobody nothing who don't earn it. The man told you during the campaign, it's all about merit.
Right.
Well, what merit do you possess?
Yep.
What achievements have you made in your life? What have you accomplished?
Yep.
Because there are certain decisions that can be made that put you on a trajectory to be successful.
Yep.
Ain't no guarantees in life at all. But we're talking about leverage here. You can make certain choices in your life that will give you a better opportunity to be successful.
Yep.
Are you making those choices? Or are you waiting on the sisterhood in Congress who have achieved themselves?
Yep.
To sweep you a few crumbs off the plate and tell you to hold your hands out in order to catch them. Nah, you deserve better. You are better, but you got to do the work. You got to prove it. They want to go back to slavery, talk about chattel slavery. Look, those slaves endured, those slaves suffered, but those slaves survived, and many of them thrived. Like a Frederick Douglass, who is the GOAT. You can come from nothing and create something. You can get it out the mud. Greatness is in you. Look, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world, but you got to prove it. What are you proving by sitting there with your hand out?
Yep.
No, use those hands to get to work and achieve. This story angered me. I don't like to admit it because I like to be neutral as I review some of these stories, but this one right here angered me to know that the political climate is shifting in this country. And these people would be so feckless as to go back to that old playbook that ain't never worked. I'm looking at them with the side eye saying, sis, who sent you? Who are you working for? Whose best interest is at the front of your mind? Because it don't seem like you got the community in mind when you step in front of that microphone and talk like this. Y'all, black folks continue to lose because they continue to follow losers. And sometimes in a case like this, where you got people who are actually elected in Congress, selected in Congress, maybe sometimes you lose because you follow losers who look like winners. Because the people who want you to lose prop them up. That's why you got to go behind the veil and find out what plantation are they really on. Who is your master for real, for real? Who are you serving? Because it ain't us. Nah. Y'all ain't like us. Y'all let me know what you think about this. I'd love to know your thoughts.
What are your thoughts, folks? I tell you, this guy, he breaks everything down, and I just love the way he breaks everything down. I do. U.S. Army gets it. Too many lazy people of all races. U.S. Army. Truth bomb. Yes. Lanita, I cannot trust women wearing white or Asian folks' hair, but saying it's white folks' fault all the time. Yeah, Lanita, these people, again, it's obvious. They have been sent. We know the Democratic Party is using them to pull all of the Black Americans that escaped back onto the Democratic plantation. Be safe, Lisa. Thanks for dropping in, love. The Real Gospel Chops, Shelly Belly. That's the name of his channel. And I'm telling you, he cuts through the fat. And I love his thought process. He calls it what it is. Shelly, I will share his video in the description box so you can click on the link, because I know you want to go and subscribe. This guy calls them out every time. Oh my God. I just love his thought process. I even went on his channel and I told him, I love your work, and I share it with my subscribers, because it's just, and it's nice, and it's concise, it's nice and simple, easy for everyone to understand. But it's facts and it's truth. Shelly, yes, me too, Shelly. God, yes. Sister Noble said, what'd you say, Sister Noble? Yeah, he is, let me see his channel. Let me see if I can show you. Because I know some of you want to go and subscribe. All right. Yeah, it's right there. The Real Gospel Chops is the name of his but I'll leave the video in the description box for you. But yeah, I love Lanita. I like him too. Yeah, this guy, you know, they don't like a guy like this. And I told you, I've been watching, I heard something Hillary Clinton said and Kamala said, and this was just, last week. The Democrats, they are imploding, and they're sitting up here saying that, that this media needs to be monitored. Because, the legacy media, they're bought and sold. The Democrats own them. They don't control this to an extent. And so with content creators out here everywhere, they know that's a big problem for them. Sister Noble, the only reason the Black Caucus is bringing up HR 40 again is because they're desperate. Hey, total act of desperation, Sister Noble. They've lost it. Thank you. Oh, Shelly Bailey, you just subscribed. Yeah, you'll love that guy. That guy, he's on point. Yes. Thank you, Rolynn, for explaining to us. Yes, Monique. Yes. And I'm telling you, when I hear this guy talk, I'm like, oh my God, that's how I feel, and it's just so clear. Sister Noble, the Democratic Party has lost a lot of Black voters in this last election. And Sister Noble, I hope and pray they continue. I want the bloodletting to continue. The Democrats have done nothing but destroy this country. They've done nothing for American citizens. And I hope they never, ever win another election. That's just how I feel. DJ, we need grassroots speaking for us and not them. Yes, but I think a lot due to content creators and, social media, a lot of Black Americans are like, wait a minute. Just like I said, I did some research on the Congressional Black Caucus, and they were created to help Black Americans. They don't help Black Americans. They're just gatekeepers. So I wish Trump would disband the Congressional Black Caucus. That's another waste. Lala Papa. They're like the NAACP. None of them did squat to help Black folk. Yeah. And you see them sometimes whenever a Black man is shot and killed by the police or whatever. But it's like, why aren't you in these poor communities helping these people that you say you're here to help? U.S. Army, if it is racist to have a white or Latino caucus, why is it legal to have a Black caucus? Right, U.S. Army? Okay. U.S. Army has a point. Okay. And again, U.S. Army, they're not, why they were created, they're not doing anything. They're only helping immigrants. Trump protected our freedom of speech. Yes, he did, Tina. CBC, yes, Monique, they are an absolute joke. They are a farce. Fridge, I love those helper jobs that indeed are gatekeepers paid with money supposed for us. Yes, Fridge Reaver, Robert, don't they get it? In my opinion, Black people are tired of these Black politicians protecting it. Robert, they don't get it. And again, you wait until the White House, the House, and the Senate are all Republican led. And now you're coming out. It's just so obvious what they're doing. They know. And again, you've had 100 reparation commissions. So any Black American that says anything to me about this, I'm going to be like, look, let me know. When they gave billions of dollars to illegals, there were no commissions. They cut the checks. They cut the checks. Tell me I'm wrong in the comment section. They cut those checks. There were no commissions. So why are you coming up here standing, playing in people's faces, talking about now you've been doing reparations commissions for years. Stop it. Okay? So if I hear anyone talk about reparations, I'm going to say, ma'am, sir, they didn't do that for the illegals. So thank you, DJ. So I don't want to hear it. I think the CBC is keeping blacks down to make themselves feel superior. U.S. Army, the CBC, the NAACP, all of these gatekeeping organizations with the black bull are used to keep us down. They want to keep their checks coming. But as you heard what this guy said, and you've heard me say it before, they have their checks and we get little crumbs. That's what they want us to get. And those of us that don't support Democrats or support them, they just don't know what to do. Lanita, the original caucus of yesterday are all dead and gone. These are the demo picked shield replacements. Yes, Lanita. Yes, exactly. And U.S. Army, you've been here for a while. I've said that. That's what they're doing. And it is what it is. But we're not lying. We're telling the truth. So why would I go out and support that, the Congressional Black Caucus, the NAACP? I'm not. I go offline. Okay, Fridge, hope you get better, love, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be live tomorrow at 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, dear. Lala Papa and one of these puppets bag of goodies were exposed. Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson is to be paid $5 million after he leaves office. Lala Papa, you're new here. I did a video on that months ago because people are like, why won't he listen? Okay, Big Cheese, I'll try. Lala Papa, let me drop that link for you. Mayor Brandon Johnson, when he's done as mayor, OMG, he has millions of dollars that he will be receiving. Let me find, as I'm talking to you before we close out, I'll drop that link for you. Because a lot of people are like, wait a minute. Okay, I think it's this one here. I did that video. Yeah. When he's done, we know he's going to be a one-term mayor. But he's going to have millions of dollars. So he's like, yeah, whatever. Let me share that with you. So he'll be fine. He will be just fine. Let me see. So tell me what you all think. I think I have it here now. So that's why he doesn't listen to anyone. He's like, whatever, Here it is. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let me share this with you. Big Cheese, Rolynn, I love you. Love you too, Big Cheese. Okay. Lanita, were you here? I did a video on that. Called Compensatory Counter-Racist Code, so you have a better understanding of the 9 areas of the control. Okay, Big Cheese, I'll see if I can get to that, dear. Lala Papa, I think Lori Lightfoot got her pay cut too. That's why she barely did anything for the black community. They're all bought and paid for, and they're not going to do anything except for illegals. Chubbs, how you doing, love? Lala Papa, she sure did. So Lala Papa, you see the link I just dropped, dear? That explains why Brandon Johnson, all the money he's going to receive once he is when he's finished being mayor. Yeah, he is definitely a one-term mayor. But yeah, if you check that out. That link, and any of you here who are new, just check out the link I just shared with you. And you'll see. Okay, you have it. Okay. Excuse me. All right, we're going to go. If he's receiving that much, can the Black community sue him? Lala, no, because some of it's from the teachers. What is it? The union, and yeah, he's got it made. Unless hopefully Trump can put him in jail, maybe. All right. So we're gonna go. Hope that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. If Brandon keeps up, Mr. Holmes will let him spend it from a jail cell. Yeah, Holman's not. Yeah, he's not gonna have it. Lala Papa, yeah, check out the link, dear. And Robert Butler, thanks. Thanks for reaching out on my Facebook page, dear. I've been busy the last couple of days, but I'll go on there and check you out again. Thank you so much for being here, Tina. I appreciate you as well. So we'll go, and I'll be here tomorrow, 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Lala Papa, check that link out and let me know what you think. Okay. I appreciate all of you for being here, and I enjoy your conversation, and I love to know what you think, what your thought process is on everything that we discuss. Cammy, Roland's Tiff was out shoveling snow from 10 to 8, just all types of noise bothering. Cammy, I know, I saw that. They said she was in front of her mother's house again. Thank you, Lala Papa. Hit the like button for me, dear. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed this content, dear. Thank you so much. Chubbs, you get some rest, dear, and you can check out, you can be part of the replay gang whenever you're feeling better, love, okay? Thank you for all that you do, love, okay? But you got to get better. Yeah, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back tomorrow, 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cammy, I may do a video on that tomorrow. Yeah, she made a video. Oh, my God. You know where I'm going now. I'm going straight to the comment section, and I'll talk to you as long as you're there. Thank you again for spending your very valuable time here at the Rolynn's Reviews YouTube channel, and I'll see you right now in the comment section.